Hi friends, it's me again, and today I was in the Alps, had a wonderful day, but it's really strange because there's something in me which never find happiness, and I don't know what it is, I don't know why, but I will tell you something. I've read a lot of books in the recent time, and some of them I have just half finished and took the next book, and start reading. So in one book there was lines that we in the West, we misinterpret the Buddhistic idea because we give them the meanings that all in the world is illusory, but the molecules, the atoms, all is illusory, but doesn't matter if it's right because Buddhism goes much deeper. And in Buddhism, the question is that we realize the world in our awareness. So you can say that at the end, for us, it doesn't matter if when a dog bites us, this is illusory and only in our awareness, or it's in this system we take as reality. It doesn't matter at the end. But that meets the point very good. When you say that we make our reality and we have to live with them, we can attract things in our life, but that things what we attract is in independence of what we wear in us since our childhood, and in our unconscious personality, our unconsciousness, our mind, which is based on our childhood. And so we reflect all our fears, all the abyss which is in us, we have experienced in our childhood, and lead them again and again in our life further to the point that we say we have on one hand somehow a life, a life that we don't want, or we live a life that is somehow not what we can take for real. It's like a dream, or in the worst case, a nightmare. It was really strange today. Like I said, it was a wonderful day. I was in the Alps. I had a great meal at noon. The sun was shining. People were nice. The environment was very nice. And then we took a walk. Then we drove down and go in an Italian coffee to drink latte macchiato. And it was a nice day. And I sit there. My female friend was with me, but there is this abyss inside, and which is not to fill with anything, because we know that all what we experience is just a moment. And the moment, when we take a moment, I wrote this to some people about the topic of time, and when I discuss with them, you can imagine time when you see a wave coming in. That is the future. Then it passes you, so now, and then the same wave, just a few seconds later, is past, and you see them disappearing in the past. So time is real in that case. We can watch time, we can observe time, but when, on the other hand, time is not real, because with our consciousness, we can make time timeless, but it's all illusory. The reality in which we live is illusory even our memories will ever be illusory. So I sat there and thought of, it started with my cats that I lost and loved, and so I experienced time as lost, and then of the people I loved, and I again experienced time as lost, and then I projected that into the future, and I knew that I will lost again all, even when I would gain the heart of a princess, I will lost her on a certain point. We will all lost, and all what we can gain in this life, all is just an illusory moment. So at the end, perhaps it doesn't matter if we could realize something or we cannot realize it, because all is just a moment, and when this moment is past, it's illusory. It's very strange. And that is a part of this abyss that we wear in us, as conscious beings. And I found it again very interesting to create such conscious beings, to set conscious beings into life, what from ever. It's really a matrix in which we are in. And recently I ordered a reading from an astrologer. Her name is Annie Botticelli, and she really come to the point by different things, and I have to realize what as a mystic. As I was young, I had a very strong trend to metaphysics because of my experiences, and I had always the knowing that there is destiny, there are presettings in us, that we cannot leave our path, because somehow we have no freedom to do that because of our presettings. When someone has a presetting, he can say at the moment of his life or her life, I want to do this, I want to do that, but it's all in the presetting. It's all set before. It's set before one started its will to do that, and when we see the things behind astrology and know that there are the planets, and the planets rule our attitudes, the planets rule our desires and our targets in our life, then we have to say that we are really just like marionettes running through a life, like in a matrix, and we have just to bring it. We have to bring our life into a system where someone, we can call it the highest source or even God, consumes our experience in life, our awareness of our longings, of this matrix reality, and for the highest source is oneness for all the other. And it doesn't matter in what dimension beings are, there is only separation. I said this before and I said this again, and I will do it again, say this in any discussion. There's only oneness, real oneness for highest source, for God, because that wise creation can be consumed by God. All the awareness of all the trillions and trillions and trillions of conscious beings in the universe, of the universe itself, of the planets, of the plants, of anything. But oneness is the privilege of highest source. And for me, I really questioned, and I really claim to want to be free, and I want to be free of that being independent of God, of being a marionette, of being only here to be consumed and be unhappy. Because all was set in us through the planets lead us to this lack of fulfillment, this lack of enjoy life like it really could be, or this lack of satisfaction, And it's like to be Spartacus and have to fight and die perhaps. Not in this life, not in this organic 3D life, but in a higher meaning of things, where you say, I want to be free, or I want to go into the nirvana, Is it? But this is really a sad thing. And like all the others, I hope so for that 2012 will bring this to an ending point, and we can really see a new start. But 2012 was just the beginning of a long transition into another system. And like it is, we, in our lifespan of a human being, our generations, even the young generations, will not experience the real change when things could go really better, or we can ascend into a higher form of consciousness where we partially could overcome this feeling of separation, or this feeling of the abyss in us. And when on a certain point, when we lost our naivety, it's really a pity, So we can have the nicest experiences, the nicest day, and there's something in us which lays like a shadow over us. And I try to find a solution for that. I try to find for a cure in myself. I thought I could find it in law of attraction, and I know law of attraction works on a certain level, of course, but that is not the solution for the abyss in ourselves, for this feeling of separation from the oneness. And I really have the funny thought that we can find this lack of satisfaction and anything what's in that in highest source itself, because that is the reason why we have those matrix systems, why we have this universe with this several dimensions, and it seems in no dimension is oneness. Perhaps when we die, but I really doubt that there is oneness. Perhaps oneness in a smaller form, in a smaller condition of our abilities. But really to be one with the whole universe, I don't know. And even when this is to be one with this feeling of endless bliss in ourselves, that would be great. But like I said, I believe that even not highest source or God have this feeling of bliss inside, because there's yin and yang, balance of dark and light, of good and evil, of happiness and misery, or desperation. And when a system is based on yin and yang, then it's clear that there's never be a real bliss, because bliss also needs his counterpart, the darkness. Light needs darkness, and bliss also needs the misery and the abyss in our awareness of life. So all what we can do perhaps is to be happy, that we and see that this yin and yang system and see that as a worthful and entertaining tool. So life never gets boring when we use this. So this is my message to you today. Enjoy life. And when you face the abyss and you know that there are things behind the sun which rules you, and just enjoy bliss and the abyss. Have a nice day, a nice night, wherever you are, whatever you do. Namaste.